Talking about media influencing culture,
yes,
because I am concerned about the extent to which those who work in the media
yes,
can actually influence the culture of a people, positively or negatively.
True.
There's a particular point that worries me. I noticed that in this society, particularly radio, that those who are readily engaged in a number of FM stations are people who can speak some foreign accent. You happen to be working in radio, you don't speak foreign accent.
Speak like me.
But that's a trend that has worried me, because I have traveled out of this country and I have stayed in a few other countries, and I know that if you go to America, even if you speak Queen's English and you don't speak American accent, you can't work in an American radio station. You won't fit into an American radio station. If you are in the UK and you speak American English, you won't fit. If you are in India, you won't fit if you are speaking Nigerian accent.
In South Africa as well, in Kenya.
So, why would we be here and we prefer that somebody speaks an accent that is strange to us? And apparently they are the kind of people that sell on FM stations.
Unfortunately.
Why do you think so?
Father, I think it's just a complex we have.
More like inferiority complex?
It's a complex. That's what I would attribute it to, because right now we're beginning to have the Buy Nigeria, made in Nigeria, encouraging made in Nigeria. So why can't we encourage made in Nigeria when it comes to accents on radio? As long as you're understood, because if you're speaking the Fone, that's the accent you're talking about. If people speak the Fone on radio, who would hear you? We would want to understand, who would be able to, we would want to understand what you're saying.
It's very troubling if it is like inferiority complex.
Father, I think it's a complex, because we don't want our own on radio. We don't want to hear, you would be higher paid, unfortunately. Unfortunately, in some stations, the people who actually speak the foreign accents are higher paid than those who just speak normal. Will that
be the ignorance and inferiority complex of the executives that own the station?
It is the complex, because you feel, okay, that's what sells, or that's what people listen to, or that's what. But people listen to me, people listen to my colleagues. The way we speak on radio
is it an assumption that the young generation, they have lost a sense of who they are, and so they will prefer
everything foreign,
yes, including foreign accents?
Exactly.
Now, and if we cash in on that, aren't we destroying something?
That's and going back to the point about Buy Nigeria, made in Nigeria, Nigeria, and all of that. If we are encouraging young people to actually be proud of our country, be proud of our heritage, be proud of what we produce, why can't we encourage them as well to be proud of what we hear on radio? As long as you're making sense, as long as you're communicating.
It's not just making sense. Actually, there is what is called standard Nigerian English. Standard Nigerian English that any well-educated person in this country speaks, whether the person is Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba or Chief, you would understand the person, and it is called standard Nigerian English. And you have standard Kenyan English, standard Ghanaian English, standard South African English, and so on and so forth. So I do hope that we can have there can be some kind of educative program in this area for people to know that it is self-denigrating.
Yes.
If you prefer a foreign accent on your radio and your TV, it's actually a commentary that is very self-denigrating. We are putting yourself down.
Exactly, we're putting ourselves down, putting our culture down, putting Nigeria down in a manner of speaking. When we do that, and just imagine the other colleagues find out that, oh, this person is higher paid than me because he or she has a foreign accent. How would that make everyone feel?
Well, we see that happen.
It creates a lot of animosity between colleagues.
This is serious. It does. Very serious. And I do hope that, I'm talking about the power of the media to set agenda and to influence culture. I do hope that such a complex will soon be dealt with. Yes. But publicly, we need to begin to discuss it.
We need to talk about it.
Talk about it.
I think I've got a topic for my program.
We better talk about it so that we don't propagate such inferiority complex on radio and on TV.
Definitely.